The laughter was sharp at first, tossed across the crowded diner like knives. "Take off that jacket, old man. You didn't earn it." The words stung the air, bouncing off neon lights and coffee cups. Heads turned. A group of younger men at the corner booth smirked, eyes locked on the quiet veteran in faded fatigues. His hands, weathered and trembling, gripped a chipped coffee mug. And then, just when mockery reached its cruelest peak, the door opened, and everything changed. He looked ordinary at first glance. A man in his late 60s sitting alone at a booth with nothing but a plate of eggs and burnt toast. His jacket was old, patches worn thin, the kind of thing you might see at a thrift store. The stitching read U.S. Marines, but to the mockers it looked more like stolen valor than sacred service. To them he was invisible, just another nobody pretending to be something he wasn't. They didn't notice the way he sat, back straight, eyes steady, like a man who never forgot discipline. "Come on, Gramps," one of them jeered, standing now, swaggering toward the booth. "Where'd you buy that patch? Flea market?" His friends snickered. Another added, "You probably never saw a rifle in your life." The diner air grew heavier. The waitress looked down, uncomfortable. Other patrons whispered but stayed silent. The old man's jaw tightened, but he didn't fight back. He simply placed his fork down, eyes calm, like someone who'd faced worse storms than childish insults. The bell above the door jingled. Boots struck the tile with a rhythm too sharp, too precise to be ordinary. A tall man in full dress blues stepped inside, silver gleaming on his collar, presence filling the room before he even spoke. The chatter died instantly. The Commandant of the Marine Corps himself, recognizable to every real Marine, scanned the diner with piercing eyes. And then, to everyone's astonishment, the Commandant walked straight past the crowd, straight past the laughter, straight to the quiet old man in the booth. Without hesitation, he stopped, heels clicking together, and raised his hand in a sharp salute. The diner froze. Coffee cups stopped midair. The mockers stood stunned, color draining from their faces. The old man looked up slowly, then returned the salute, crisp despite his age. The Commandant's voice carried like thunder. "Sergeant Major, it's an honor." Gasps rippled through the diner. The Commandant continued, his tone heavy with respect. "Ladies and gentlemen, you're in the presence of one of our most decorated Marines. This man led men in battle when I was still learning how to salute. His service, his sacrifice, they shaped the Corps we know today." The old man's eyes glistened, his voice gravelly. "Lost good men. Only reason I wear this jacket is for them, not for me." The younger men who mocked him stood frozen, shame heavy on their faces. One finally stammered, "Sir, we didn't know," the Commandant cut in sharply. "That's the problem. Too many of you don't know. You judge by appearance, by age, by wear. You forget that the men who look ordinary now once carried extraordinary burdens." The diner erupted in quiet applause. The waitress wiped a tear. Even strangers felt the weight of the moment. The old Marine, however, only nodded, finishing his cold toast as if nothing had changed. When the Commandant finally left, the silence lingered. The young men whispered apologies, voices stripped of arrogance. The old Marine said nothing more, his quiet dignity louder than any speech. He rose, jacket still draped over his shoulders, and walked back into the sunlight. Just another day, another meal. But to everyone in that diner, he was no longer invisible. He was a living reminder that true valor never fades, and that sometimes the quietest man in the room carries the greatest legacy. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that heroes don't brag, they just live with dignity. Subscribe for more powerful stories that honor courage, respect, and the hidden strength among us.